Learn Excel from Mr. Excel Podcast, episode 2311, SUMIF between 10 and 20. Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Gillen. Today, a question from John. And John, relatively new to spreadsheets, but he had a great question today. He's trying to categorize his spending into buckets, let's say. And John came up with this beautiful formula here. He says, hey, look through the cost column, see if it's less than 10, and then add up a corresponding cost column. Great use for SUMIF. But then next row, John's like, hey, how can I make this do greater than 10 and less than 20? All right, now I didn't know what version of Excel John was using. I said, hey, see if you have SUMIFS, plural, SUMIFS. And SUMIFS is a little bit backwards. SUMIFS, first thing you have to do is what you want to add up. So that's column B over here. And then it's pairs of things. Go look through this column and see if it's, this criteria. Then go look through this column and see if it's this criteria. Now in this case, it's going to be the same column every single time. So we're going to look through this column, comma, and see if it's greater than or equal to 10. So greater than or equal to 10, like that. And then the second criteria is go look through that same column again and see if it's less than 20. All right, and hey, even better than that, SUMIFs can keep going on. So if we needed, let's say we had a column over here of product, and we only wanted the photography product, we could say if that column is equal to photography, you could have I think 126 pairs of check this column for this criteria. Now in this case, we just need 2 like that. All right, so that gets us the value. Now the hassle with the way that I built this so far is that we're going to have to hard code this greater than 10 or less than 20. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. All right, so here's a nice flexible formula that does the same thing. Look through the cost column, see if the cost column is greater than or equal to, then an ampersand, that is a concatenation character, greater than or equal to 10. And then look through the cost column and see if it's less than the next row, which is 20. All right, and the beautiful thing about this is once we enter it, we can just copy it down and we get the answers for everything without having to edit the formula each cell. COUNTIFS does what SUMIFS does. We're looking for this criteria, spending cost greater than or equal to 10, spending cost less than D4, copy that down. Now, hey, John, SUMIFS, COUNTIFS. When I was starting with spreadsheets, we didn't have that. We had SUMIF or COUNTIF. There's a lot of different ways to do things in Excel, though, and one way that would be a great way to solve this. If your spreadsheet has pivot tables, select one cell in your data, back here, insert pivot table. Let it go to a new worksheet. That's okay. It shows up here on this worksheet. And we can build a report here. Now, let's see. Pivot tables generally start out looking like this. So columns across the top, rows down the side. And this is very unusual. I'm going to take that cost field and drag it down the side like this. And then take the cost field 1, 2, 3 times to the values area. And the first one, I'm going to let it be a sum. The second one, though, I'm going to double click the heading and say I want to see a count. And then over here, I'm going to double click and I want to see an average. Now, this report isn't very fascinating because it's looking at every single dollar amount. Choose one of those dollar amounts and on the group field, so this is pivot table analyze, go to group field and say we want to group, let's say from 0 up to 100 based on 10. Click OK. Man, that is awesome. And so for each bucket, we know the total cost, how many there were, and what the average was. Right click here, number format, currency, 2 decimal places, I guess makes sense. So pivot table, great way to go. Another way, awesome formula here. This is definitely before we had SUMIFS. We would do this, take all these amounts over in column B, multiply. This has to be in parentheses. See if the amount is greater than or equal to 0, and then multiply. See if the amount is less than 10. If both of these are true, it's the amount times 1 times 1, and you get the amount. If either one is false, it gets wiped out to 0. All right, so there's lots of different ways to solve this. SUMIFS, though, great, beautiful thing to learn. Now, SUMIF, of course, covered in this book, Mr. Excel LX, the holy grail of Excel tips. Click that eye in the top right-hand corner. And if you like the tips you see here, please subscribe, and ring that bell. Feel free to post any comments in the comments section below. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.